Welcome to the Big Boys Season 3 finale, or episode Triple X. For this episode, we knew there could only be one movie to give us the perfect send-off. A perfectly titled movie for a perfectly titled finale. That movie is Triple X, starring Vin Diesel. And we were lucky enough to have Vin join us on this podcast. Want to hear what he thinks? Find out this week on Big Boys, episode Triple X.
Prepare to be mesmerized and or mortified.
Well, what's happening there?
Old Sorrel's here handling something now.
You son of a...
Yeah, clever. Kind of soft and only like in one ear.
If I had a nickel for every time I heard that.
Look at those boys, ain't they
Big Boys with Brian Hickey and John McGray. Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another beautiful, fantastic, phenomenal, all the things, freaking finale of a season finale episode of the Big Boys Podcast. I am your host, Brian Hickey. With me, as always, is my cohort in all things podcasting, thy man, thy myth, thy legend, thy John, thy great. Johnny, what's new with you? What is new with thy junk?
Well, there's been a couple things here and there. Very recently, I made, not for the first time, but I guess for the first time in a long time, and much more successful than the first time, I made chicken fried steak from scratch. So I'm going to call this a new segment. It's called, Homestyle Southern Cooking with John. Or John's Homestyle Southern Cooking, whichever you prefer.
Do tell.
Yeah.
Patent pending on the title, but
yeah.
Second time you made it, you say.
Mm-hmm. Last time I made it was probably like 10 years ago, or 8 years ago, something like that. And I mean, flavor-wise, it turned out good, but, it was just, it was tough.
Yeah.
I don't think I tenderized it right, so it was tough.
Yeah. I don't mean to play therapist here, but I mean, that seems like a extended period of time to take a break from going back and trying round two. I mean, was it like just that traumatic of an experience?
No, it was just a little bit of a pain, to be honest, and so I just didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is a bit of work.
Just like my therapist. This is how we open the floodgates.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it wasn't that big of a deal. And then suddenly you're crying, like, I could never get the breading right. I'll never be a Chicken Express worker. I'll never be a Chicken Express worker.
Well, they serve
okay,
fried
John.
chicken. This was chicken fried steak. So this is meat that's not.
Oh shit!
This is meat that's not chicken, but fried as if it was.
Zany, right?
Yeah, pretty wild.
It truly is. The things we do with our meats.
Yeah.
Oh, if I had a nickel for every time I had a story about that, chicken fried or otherwise.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know you didn't ask, but what's new with my junk is I chopped off the old locks, gave myself the old fresh cut.
Oh, nice.
Feeling
All
good.
right. Yeah.
Feeling energized. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I thought I might mention that because I know you are perpetually face blind. Well, not just faces, but just sometimes just to your general surroundings. You know what I mean? Like I feel like if I showed up at your doorstep like with two black eyes and a broken nose and be like, something going on with you, man? I can't figure it out. Like maybe you're having bad allergies.
I think it's just selective because I'm usually pretty good at noticing when chicks get their hair cut. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if it's just a long hair thing or the fact that, I'm attracted to women, that helps. So I don't know.
Yeah, no, I was just going to take it as you being sexist, and just not being able to give your male friends any compliments or let them know that hey, you appreciate them, and you notice them.
I mean,
listen, pal, I'm just putting it out there. Like, yeah, you keep this up, I'm not fucking you anytime soon. Okay.
Good. All right. Well, then I'll keep it up. Yeah. If I don't know if that was your desired effect. If it was, you're doing good. Like, nailed it.
Well, like every other woman that, it's not that I wanted you to notice. I just wanted you to want to notice. And it really offends me that you didn't want to.
Yeah. That I didn't want to notice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're kind of meta on that. It can get real confusing.
Yep, that's as far down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna
women
just
are
cut
meta.
it off right there. That's probably for the best, but that's okay.
It's So in this episode, this season 3 finale, we speaking of meta and women, we went and watched ourselves the Vin Diesel sensation Triple X.
That's 3 of them.
The movie.
And this is very fortuitous because this is episode 3X.
Tres Equis.
Yeah, this is
our Tres Equis finale.
Yes, it is. See, it's much more artistic when you say it that way. It's got class.
Yeah, it's much more it's much more palatable than like this, because I mean, maybe not even so much, not so much when he was filming this movie, but like now, like if Vin Diesel wasn't famous and like this big stocky 50-something-year-old guy was like, yeah, I'm bringing back Triple X. Like, okay, easy, pal. Keep your porn business to yourself.
Yeah.
I just it tickles me to no end that Rob Cohen is like, Vin, I got the perfect franchise for you. Oh yeah, what is it, Rob? Triple X. Rob, if you want to see my dick, just ask.
That should be the new one.
This is about not only is it has like they make no reference like to like the elephant in the room of like this is clearly like the same title like in every adult content. Like fucking like they you would expect like one like kind of wink of like, oh yeah, Triple X, right? You got 3 X's on your back. Like, what are you used to do adult content? No, none of those things. Just all references to James Bond.
Yeah, which is 007, so it makes no sense.
Yeah. Just letters versus numbers, I guess. America
That's the
versus
sequel,
England.
Triple X, letters versus numbers.
Numbers, yeah. With Donnie Yen coming back. Yeah, I love the way that they make their I don't know what lack of a better term, spoof version of 007 agent of James Bond is just a fucking moron. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's I mean, this is obviously a reoccurring thing that is happening with all these movies that we're watching. Like the only way that like these types of action heroes with like I was saying with Swayze's Dalton and Roadhouse, like where they kind of seem like, oh, they're actually pretty smart, sly guys, just because everyone else around them is just fucking dumb as can be. Like,
well, that's what they call plot armor.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, like this guy's supposed to be like the top. And actually, I guess he's actually supposed to be an NSA agent, but they have him, dressed up like traditional, James Bond 007 in a tuxedo. But
he's supposed to be like NSA adjacent.
Yeah, but he's clearly doing like they're clearly putting him out as the the James Bond archetype.
True, I guess
what?
Go finish. What were you saying?
I was just gonna say that like they're like, oh well like basically they're like Rob Cohen is like setting up the premise of like, well James Bond wouldn't be able to survive in this type of underbelly because he's too prim and proper. Like, but not really, because like the only time like in the movie, which happens every movie, but like James Bond doesn't put on the tuxedo until he has to, because he's going to a place where they're all wearing tuxedos.
Yeah.
He doesn't put on a tuxedo to go fucking run away in the mosh pit. So they'd be like, where is he? Oh, it's the guy in the tuxedo.
The guy that looks like a Fed? He's that one. Yeah.
Yeah. The guy who's not dressed in 3 layers of of techno gear and chic.
Oh my god! And I love that it was
nightclub.
at a Rammstein concert. That is just so like early 2000s. Like that was just perfect.
Yeah, this is very much this movie, and the first Fast and Furious. I feel like gives you such a distinct look into like Rob Cohen, at least of this time, of his musical palette, his taste.
Yeah,
because it's a lot. It's very much but it is also of the time too.
Yeah. But these are perfect time capsule movies. If you had to show a young kid like the early 2000s, like, Triple X, Fast and the Furious.
Yeah. And much like how I want people to look at our podcast, I also enjoy like looking at this is ground zero, where it started with the Triple X and the Fast and the Furious. And then you look at, this is where it is now. It went from, somewhat grounded to just straight up zany banana shit.
Yeah.
And that's the level of zane I want us to achieve in this podcast, man. We're making our way there,
Yeah. It's a slow road to hoe.
I'm sorry, Pimpin'? What was that?
It's a slow road to hoe. That's a term. That's a phrase. I didn't make that up.
No, I'm sure you didn't. I assume it was a pimp named Slipback or Iceberg.
I have no idea. I'm sure it's
Is
a
that,
farming
yeah, that
reference, like with a hoe.
I know it is, but can we? Yeah, let's not kill the bit. Obviously.
Oh, or maybe it's
it was a
row
farming
to hoe.
reference.
ROW. Interesting. That's a little bit of a what is that? There's a term for the origin of a word. Can't remember it,
Etymology.
but it's that. Yeah.
Is it etymology?
Thank you, Brian. Coming in clutch right there. That's a little etymology here for. See, our Big Boys viewers, I hope, are well-rounded, because this is a well-rounded podcast.
Man, every time you say it, I keep on believing it.
And if you're not, keep listening or watching or doing both at the same time, and you will become more well-rounded.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm.
An individual will become more
You
well-rounded
should be a circle
by consuming our podcast.
That's right, man. Look at us, 2 ovals, just out here shape
Yeah,
shifting.
when people picture well-rounded, this is what they picture. Yeah, yeah, my seal of approval.
Yes, we are the beacons of hope.
Yeah,
for the future.
Yeah, for a nice, well-rounded young man.
Somewhat young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Young-ish.
Yeah. So, other than pun-related excuses, what really got you craving going back and watching this movie, Johnny?
Mainly the.
Or wait, you hadn't seen it?
No. This
right?
was the first, and so it was interesting. I'm not sure it's quite the same watching it here 22 years later as it was when it came out.
No. Well, yeah, you're not going to have the same content. First of all, I mean, I hate to say it, but anything we're watching on here to review it's going to have, be falling under the context of we're kind of making fun of it. So you're already coming in with that opinion.
Yeah.
You're not coming in with the same opinion of, it was 2002. So I was 7th or 8th grade watching this in theaters. And, this is still very much, as you say, a time capsule of extreme sports were really taking off. And
because this was around the same time they were doing movies like Rollerball and other,
Yeah. And I just remember watching this at the same time because I was riding dirt bikes as a kid at this time. I had my Honda XR 100 or 125, whatever it was. But anyways, I think I had the same dirt bike pants as he's wearing in in the movie. Yeah. Well, actually, I just remember even in 7th grade, I was seeing the combination of dirt bike pants and like and the randomness of like a Harley leather jacket, you know what I mean? Like a
That's timeless
and
look.
then like fucking and then combat boots and like this is it's like pick a lane, guy.
It's extreme.
Which one do you go for?
Remember, this was still kind of 90s holdout. 02, early 2000s. So extreme was still. You remember the 90s, everything had to be extreme. This is like the culmination.
Oh, this is the peak of extreme, man. The most the most extreme cameos in here. I went back and watched the first part of it today. I didn't get to get all the way through it again. But oh man, best one-liner. I can't even remember exactly what he said because I didn't have time to take notes, unfortunately. But there was, as you said, time capsule wise, there was a handful of extreme sports guys that I know when I watched in the theaters, and 13, 12, or however old I was watching this. I'm like, oh, that's so and so, and that's so and so, and I kind of like vaguely recognize their faces, and of course, the way the camera's positioned and everything, it's like this is clearly a cameo. To say that not just Tony Hawk and other people are in this film. And Tony Hawk was actually pretty, as far as cameos go, or as as a character, and like he wasn't that distracting as you remember the BMX biker?
Yeah, he was big there for a while. That was around this time when he was huge.
He's in here. He makes his one-liner cameo, and Jesus Christ, whew. You wouldn't think for like one line you would have to recommend a guy to go to like, I don't know, 80 hours of acting school. Like it was the most cringeworthy delivery ever. Yeah. You know which one line I'm referring to?
Honestly.
Well, first of all, the line was shit anyway, so I don't necessarily fully blame Matt Hoffman for it because it was just a terribly written and or somebody shouting off hand like say this, but it was I'm paraphrasing, but it was what's up with that new, and like he doesn't get into specifics because it sets up to where Zander is going to say, oh, you mean my off the wall backhanded flip-tastic trick or whatever?
Yeah.
But like the way that Matt Hoffman was just like, what's up with this crazy trick we're hearing about all over the world, I guess? And then answers, oh, you mean my cycle spin 3000 dishwasher dunk puppet?
Yeah.
And then it's just like, you could just see Matt Hoffman just like nodding his head like, okay, wait for your cue. Word?
I remember what you're talking about. Yeah. I mean, in his defense, I guess he's not an actor.
Yeah. No, I know, but like it was just the perfect culmination of the time when everyone was using word and bling bling, but just like the most unnatural line delivery of like word.
Dude,
like
talk about a guy.
Yes, I said words
that we just forgot about. At least Tony Hawk is still remembered. He's still kind of around. Like, I mean, I guess he's sort of forgotten too, but it's kind of a joke of people like I see a lot of social media stuff of people not remembering or recognizing Tony Hawk. Like he's pretty active on Twitter with that stuff, like where he'll go, like he'll post stuff about being in line at like the airport, and they'll be like, "Oh man, Tony Hawk, like the skater," and he's like, "Yep, just like him," or stuff like that, or like at a restaurant for reservation and give a name Tony Hawk, and they're like, "Oh, come on, be serious," and he's like, "No, really." But I guess my point is he's still managing to stay somewhat relevant. I had completely forgotten about Matt Hoffman, so much so that I didn't even realize who that was when I watched this. Like, I didn't even recognize him.
Same.
Like, talk about flash in the pan.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess to that extent, it's like Tony Hawk, even though I think the argument can be made that the reason that he's still somewhat relevant is that he wants to be relevant. He doesn't have to be, you know what I mean? Like, Matt Hoffman doesn't have to be socially relevant or whatever, Especially now, because like what, they're 50 something or whatever,
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm sure he's not still doing BMX tricks, and like I just feel like Tony Hawk has a podcast, and Matt Hoffman. I mean, I don't, other than seeing his just exceptional acting in this film. I don't remember seeing him in anything else other than extreme sports. And then, did he have a BMX video game as well?
He came out with
and then, of course,
a few games, yeah.
Yeah. So he's probably doing all right off of that. And then also, there was a particular bike. I don't know if it was Hoffman Bikes or whatever. It was also like, attributed to him as well. So he's got to be. He's doing fine for the next 5 lifetimes.
Oh, yeah. As long as he's been remotely responsible with his money and hadn't just squandered it, I'm sure he's just fine.
Yeah. And after seeing his exceptional Oscar award-winning delivery of Word, it's a wonder we haven't seen him that much in the public eye since.
Dude, and now oh my God, I'm having a huge flashback now. He's not to be confused with, because I was like, didn't he have a different game? The other big bike guy at the time, Dave Mira.
Oh, dude, I wonder if he was one of the guys in this as well, because there's like 5 dudes that are just like, like, okay, I like, again, just from a little too much inside baseball, just the way the camera's positioned and the reaction cuts to Vin, is like, okay, I know this guy's supposed to be somebody, and I vaguely recognize him from my teen years, but I don't know who it is. So I feel like that he could have been in here too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should Google these guys. What was
because when I was looking at Matt Hoffman's credits here, he's got a couple, one of which is this movie, but then he has also got his games, Matt Hoffman's Pro BMX 2. And I was thinking, didn't he have one called Triple X, like BMX Triple X? Because I was thinking maybe it was a tie-in for this, but no, that was Dave Mira. Dave Mira's BMX Triple X, which was a rated mature like BMX game. Apparently there was some story. I never played it because it was on PlayStation, and I didn't have a PlayStation. And yeah.
Okay. That's pretty bold of you, Dave Mira. Like, I want to take BMXing into the porn industry.
Okay, it was on Xbox and PlayStation, but I guess I just never had it. But I guess it was rated M. According to Wikipedia here, it says, while primarily a BMX-based action sports title, the game places a distinct emphasis on off-color and sexual humor and allows the player to create female characters that are fully topless. That's awesome.
Hey.
And then the game also features unlockable live-action footage of real-life strippers courtesy of Scores, a New York-based strip club. Dang, man, I'm surprised I didn't make more of an effort to try and get this game when I was younger.
Yeah, so I'm on the XXX IMDb, and I'm looking at, I don't think he is in here, but again, it's really hard to tell because we have Matt Hoffman credited as Extreme Guy.
Which is awesome.
Yeah. Tony Hawk's credited as Caddy Driver. I would have assumed he would have been Tony Hawk, but fuck. I guess not. And then, another guy is Extreme Guy, Brian Deegan. I don't know who that is. Do you?
Say it one more time.
Brian Deegan?
No, I don't know that name.
And then, Mike Valehi is Skater. Mike Escamilla, that guy seems like I might recognize him. Who's that? Well, his I would say he's in extreme sports. His IMDb photo is him on a midair in a bike. Who is this guy? I don't know. I guess he was in Paul Bart Mall Cop though too.
All right. Before we talk too much trash here, I guess it should be known Dave Mira has passed away. So R.I.P. I didn't even know that.
Oh, I didn't either.
Yeah.
What? Oh, geez. Oh, wow. Yeah. He died a while back. Huh?
Contracted bacterial meningitis in 2010. Oh, but it says he recovered. So what happened?
It says he died February 4th, 2016.
It says from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Fuck.
So, R.I.P. to Dave Mira. Our thoughts go out to his family.
The immortal words of Matt Hoffman.
Part of me still wants to go back and play BMX Triple X now. Fill in that little part of my childhood that I never got to do.
Yeah, was it like what year did it come out? Was it PS2 or PS3?
01. It was on PS2 and the original Xbox.
Oh, okay. So it was for sure
Yeah.
So were the graphics up to snuff then with the old Tony Hawk?
I mean, they're not going to be what we're used to now, but at the time, can you imagine?
No,
you
but
know?
yeah, but I mean, like if memory serves correct, and actually I think they updated and re-released Tony Hawk was Pro Skater 1 and 2.
I think you're right.
For the PS4.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, it's if I was a 13-year-old boy, the gameplay would still live up. Is what I'm getting at.
Those were
the
fun
mechanics
games.
of the gameplay.
Even people that weren't even into skateboards enjoyed those games. Like they were massively successful.
Yeah. So again, as you said, we are not talking shit about Mr. Mira here, but I am interested in why he killed himself. As oh Jesus.
I mean,
yeah, I guess you don't think about this being synonymous with extreme sports, but it totally makes sense.
Yeah.
A lot of people are suspecting that it was side effects of CTE, which I could totally see that.
Yeah, it's mentioning something here about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, that kind of sucked the comedy out of the podcast, but we'll see if we can get back on track.
Well, I was gonna take it right back, man. I was like, at least this guy, if CTE is gonna take you down, he went and did it the right way. He didn't go the O.J. Simpson route
and commit a murder that he got away with for like 30 years.
There we go. Yeah, that's right. I'm lightening it up, buddy.
Oh,
Everyone
yeah, we can
Jones.
talk trash about O.J. Simpson. I don't think we'll catch a lot of flack for that.
Exactly.
Nobody really misses him, except maybe his family.
Oh. Well, I mean, there's arguments for that as well. But yeah, even for the ones that do, I'm sure they are fully in terms with the man was getting made fun of relentlessly while he was still alive. And he was not, he's not one of the rare occasions of, as we mentioned before, as we shudder and, hope the day comes long from now of like how, the turn's going to happen with Gary Busey, like it did with Michael Jackson, of like, they're the butt of the joke, and then until they're dead, and then everyone's going to be like, "Oh man, what a saint, what a talent." Not somebody mixed feelings.
No, I think everybody's pretty much on the same page.
Yeah. His Naked Gun performance just wasn't there for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just wasn't extreme enough. That's why you got to lean on extreme sports guys to make cameos, like Matt Hoffman.
That guy knows how to deliver a line.
Single.
And be like, word.
Yeah. That whole party scene was just wild, dude. It was, I mean, yeah, again, how many times I'm going to say it? It's just encapsulating a time of like, just like this is what a cool guy would say in this scenario of like, the components of a raging douchebag.
Yeah.
He was talking to, I don't know the actress's name. I recognized her, but she was like, I guess, running his, underground business for him of, committing felonies of senators, crashing the cars and such, which is what, like, again, I don't know if it's a product of fantastic writing or just really, really shoddy writing of, Zander Cage goes through all of Gibbons' tests,
which just seemed like it kept happening.
Right. And, he didn't, he's giving them all attitude and he doesn't want any part of Gibbons' deal. And he tells him, his Gibbons, threatens to put him in prison. And he's like, you don't have anything on me. Like, dude, you videotaped yourself doing
aren't you already
crimes.
wanted by the FBI? Yeah, you're already on their wanted list.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yeah, you videotaped it at multiple angles and put it out there for broadcast.
Yeah, there's
What the
literal
fuck
video
are you talking
evidence.
about? You don't have anything on me. Yeah. The only reason that these people were able to, like, put you in this precarious, like, just straight up airhead thing, like, the only reason you're in this situation because they have everything on you. Do you think the NSA just puts a black bag on just fucking Mr. Rogers' head and it's like, hey, you got to go kill for your government now, like it or not?
Well, and also, like, Danny Trejo, it was pleasant seeing him in this. That was a pleasant surprise. I'll take Trejo wherever I can get it. And so, but, like, he's pretty much got him, like, chained up and beating the crap out of him before he realizes, oh, this isn't another test. Yeah. So I thought that was kind of wild. But he's like, oh, okay, I think this is for real now.
So, if I'm to understand you correctly, you think one of the motivating plot points of the film was a wild take?
Was the wild take?
Is that right? Yeah, you're saying that, like, oh, he figured out that, that Danny Trejo was an actual cartel guy and not an undercover agent.
But it was, like, already to the point of basically him getting beaten up before you, like, realized that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah.
But, yeah, this movie came from a lot of different angles. We had the cartel, and plus the Anarchy 99.
Which, you're a residential Russian expert.
Kinda.
I assume the Czech Republic is somewhat close to Russia? Because they reference it so many
Republic,
times.
formerly Czechoslovakia. That might be. Ooh, I don't know if they were part of the Soviet Union or not. That is a very good question.
Well, the story goes for the Anarchy 99 guys is that they were Soviet soldiers, and again, I am not an expert on anything, much less Russian history or politics. But, like, I assume that they were, there as soldiers, doing something in the Czech Republic.
That would make a lot of sense. Yeah, that they were there doing something. Yeah.
Well, that's what they were saying. Yeah, and that's why they got to be the Anarchy 99, because it took place in 99. Thank God it didn't happen 30 years earlier, because otherwise they would be known as Anarchy 69.
Yeah.
Yeah. We are very serious people, very serious terrorist group, Anarchy 69.
No, I don't think Czechoslovakia or the Czech Republic was part of the Soviet Union.
But is it on its borders? I guess is what I'm asking here. Or is it close to Berlin? It just seems odd that there's, like, because before I went back and rewatched it, I think I mentioned in the last episode, it's like, oh yeah, another Russian trope movie. I just remember being like such, heavily dictated Russian accents, but then in hindsight now, I mean, also I'm a dumb American, but, like, I couldn't really differentiate between the guys who were Czech police, their accents, and Anarchy 99 Russian accents. Could you?
Not really. It's all. I think that was just some general vague. Yeah, you're starting to. It basically borders Germany, like Poland, Slovakia. So you're starting to get into, like, Eastern Europe. Countries like Slovakia is to the east of there. Ukraine even further east. So I don't know. That might still be considered Central Europe because you've got that little cluster right there: Germany, Czech, Austria, Slovakia, Poland.
Well, I'll take your word and whatever you're looking up on the internet's word for it.
I'm looking at a map.
Yeah. I've heard of those.
Yeah. I've heard it's really cool to go there. I had a friend who went to Prague, said it was very nice.
Yeah, dude, I'm interested to just obviously just get out of America when I have the opportunity. But I just had a brain fart. What was I going to say about that? I'm interested to know, especially with, well, this makes sense with this being in the Prague and the Czech Republic. That's, that actually kind of works in the favor of this question of like when, because we were in a Cold War with Russia forever, and now I know we have again, not a very politically informed man. I know we have sanctions imposed against them. I assume.
I think so.
And we're not on the best terms with Russia, but somehow, some way, we still manage to shoot a movie there every once in a while. Like, how the fuck does that work out? You know what I mean? Like, or is it like mock Russia, like Bert Kreischer's movie? The Machine is set in Russia.
My guess on that is mock Russia, but I don't think it's totally blocked off. Like, I'm pretty sure you can go there as a tourist. I mean, I would want to be very careful.
I was going to say, everyone who I know that has visited there as a tourist, but of course, most of them are, involved in the industry in one way or the other. It's probably like one of the most uncomfortable trips they've ever taken, just because, you just feel like you're being watched.
Yeah. I want to say, I mean, that being said, though, too, you could technically go to North Korea, too, but it's generally not recommended.
Yeah. No, you, first of all, I think you want to hit it off with, Dennis Rodman. Yeah. And when I say hit it off, I mean become best friends with him. Like, know for sure that he's not going to leave you behind. And then, only then, after you've, exchanged BFF bracelets and have, drawn, blood from the same knife and became blood brothers, only then would I suggest, checking out North Korea.
According to what I'm seeing here, based on Reddit, almost every website on the Google search, the first one, like USDepartmentofState.gov, the first thing it says, do not travel to North Korea due to continuing serious risk of arrest and long-term detention. Here's another website, smarttraveler.gov, do not travel to North Korea. And then here's a...
I love it, out the gate.
Yeah, here's
you want to be a smart traveler? Don't do it.
Yeah. And then here's someone on Reddit that's saying, I'd like to go. Is it difficult? And someone was saying, firstly, as things stand, North Korea is closed to tourists due to COVID, and it's illegal to travel there from the U.S. without special permission. So I don't think you can just up and go. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, as much as I've just said that in so many words, that I'm a self-effacing idiot, what a dumb question. Is it difficult to get into North Korea? Like, bitch, it's difficult to get out of North Korea. How the fuck do you think you're just going to get in there?
Yeah, like this guy is saying he had a friend from the UK who did it about 10 years ago, said it was an incredible experience, found the few North Koreans they were permitted to speak with, so I guess they controlled who you could even talk with, to be friendly and hospitable. Their main take-homes were the fact that it felt like stepping into a time machine back to the USSR, speaking of the Soviet Union. Their main, it says, grinding poverty outside the center of Pyongyang, where photos were not permitted. Of course, diplomatic relations have been volatile. Yeah, that's putting it lightly.
Yeah, you don't say. Yeah. Oh, man. Well, hey, speaking of volatile diplomatic, things of that nature. Now is I think as good a time as any to have our special guest give us an ad read. John, I'm gonna blow your mind here.
We have guests.
I want you to keep your pants on. All right.
Okay, I'll try. Cool. I'll try.
But you know him, you love him, the one, the only. Then Diesel himself has decided to stop by here. Yeah, and he is as much as we just give him shit, like the man has endless amounts of integrity. He's like, you know what? I like you guys, and I want to help promote your new Patreon at patreon.com BigBoysPodspot.
Well, that's mighty kind of you, Mr. Diesel.
Yeah. Oh, here he is right here. Sorry, let me get out of the way. Ladies and gentlemen, Vin Diesel. Evening, everyone. How we doing, family?
Wow. It's an honor to have you on the show, Mr. Diesel. The fuel.
Thank you, John. Thank you. You guys,
Yeah.
you know, you seem like a couple of windshield wipers. You go back and forth on me, but you know what? As long as my name stays in your mouth, as you say, JTG, no such thing as bad press. So I thought maybe I would extend the same services to you and this twink fuck over here.
You're absolutely correct, Mr. Diesel. Thank you. I've always said that on this podcast, we're like family. That's what this is. And I would say it's never felt more that way until now.
Absolutely. And speaking as family, your other family member over here, Brian, wanted to let you know that he was a little uncomfortable at how quickly you laughed at that twink joke. But that's it's neither here nor there.
Well, you know what? He can take that up with you. You made the joke. I thought it was funny. You obviously thought it was funny.
Hey, nobody takes things up with me. Not even The Rock. Not even Momoa. Not even the other British guy with a bald head, all right? Nobody takes things up with me. I take things up all the way. How dare you? I came into the studio here to promote, and you came... Oh, man. All right. Woos Fraba.
You know why? Because I absolutely agree with you. Because if you're not first, you're last. No one knows that more than you. And I just want to make sure we're first. And I think you're going to help us get there.
Well, first things first about being first, John, is I'm going to have to read this ad so I can get back to my life of, living one that is so much more fulfilling than both you and, skinny puppet over here. So if you would please allow me, can I do the thing I came here to do?
Absolutely.
You guys quit being such...
I love how you're getting slightly more Italian. That is great.
Hey.
Thank you. Please go right ahead. Don't let me get in your way. I'm a little starstruck, to be honest with you.
John, you want to comment on how my dialect or, my persona often changes between films? I invite you to go and watch my directorial debut, Multifacial. Yes, that is the actual title.
You've directed a film?
I have directed multiple films.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And the first one.
That's very impressive, Mr. Diesel.
Yeah, again, you keep on getting me going on these tangents, but I just wanted to say that Multifacial is the one that got me recognized by Steven Spielberg, and that's what got me in Saving Private Ryan.
Wow. See, I'm learning things about you, Yeah. You really are a man of many talents, and I really appreciate your interest in like D&D and things of that nature. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, well,
I've seen an old commercial with you advertising for Street Sharks. That was cool.
Absolutely. That's what I've always said, throughout my philanthropy is like, hey, if there's sharks, they need to be on the streets. Now, if you will, let me finish this ad read here because, damn it, I got things to do. I am more important than you guys. Do you mind?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
All right.
Add fuel to the fire, as it were, Mr. Diesel.
All right. This is Vin Diesel, spokesperson for Big Boys Patreon at patreon.com, Big Boys Pod. Family. Are you prepared to be mesmerized and or mortified? Are you willing to be enthralled and offended at the same time? Like I was when Rob Cohen met me at a Beverly hotel and pitched the idea of me starring in my very own Triple X film franchise. I was so appalled that someone would be able to make such a direct advance toward me sexually and not have the decency to be the studio head of Miramax. However, little did I know then that my life would be forever changed for the better. And to this day, Rob Cohen still refuses to bear witness to my diesel dong in or out of a thong. No, really, I mean it. The man simply becomes the most irate I've ever seen him each time I offer. He keeps saying, Vin, that's highly inappropriate. And I keep saying, Rob, chill. It's basically the same thing you're talking to right now, but with fewer orifices. the things I do for my country. Like subscribing to the Big Boys Patreon. Just like Rob Cohen, these two chumps are constantly making juvenile puns and can't shut up about my career. They're incessant, ill-witted, but yet somehow, some way, still endearing as all hell. Just like I used to be. The little 35-year-old twerps. They're what I like to call family. So it only makes sense that I would show them support at patreon.com, Big Boys Podspot. They have subscription tiers with exclusive perks starting at as little as $10 a month. That's something even you could afford, John. I show my support by subscribing to their premium tier membership at $100 a month so I can get behind the scenes scoop of how the families. And Rob Cohen, I know you were just chomping at the bit to pay top dollar for their VIP top tier membership. Available at a whopping $1,000 a month. That's right, Rob. With that level of commitment and big bald-headed support, you'll have direct influence on the show's topics, and you'll finally be able to achieve that much-needed executive producer credit to kickstart your career in the entertainment industry. But be forewarned, though, Robbie. This ain't no Triple X Patreon. These boys are big, and they won't be accepting funding from those who are looking to taint their moral compasses. They might show a little teat, but no taint. You hear me, Cohen? LOL. I'm just kidding. I love you, you 75-year-old sick fuck. Get over here and tickle my delts. Patreon.com, Big Boys Podspot. Streets closed, Pizza Boy. But you could still feast on these fulfilling exclusive content offers while you live your life a quarter mile at a time. And like my co-star Samuel L. Jackson says in the third installment of my Triple X franchise, that's why Triple X. And that's why Patreon.com/Big Boys Podspot. All right, I gotta get the fuck out of here. Twink, get back on the mic.
Thank you, Mr. Diesel.
Thank you. Thank
The
you.
fuel. The fuel, everyone.
That was elating, John. I mean, he was very aggressive.
I know,
don't know if
but
got,
you know
got a
what?
sense of that.
He has to make sure we're first, because if we're not first, we're last,
Right.
and he can't be associated with that. So I understand He's got to be the way that he has to be.
John, I was so embarrassed when you said that. You know, that's Ricky Bobby says that. That's from Talladega Nights. That's a different car movie. I mean, that's probably why he got so worked up. You were telling him Will Ferrell references.
No. They say that in the Fast and the Furious too.
He's not in the Fast and the Furious 2, John.
Let me rephrase. They said that in the Fast and the Furious also. That is also in. Technically, it was in the Fast and the Furious first. So Ricky Bobby is saying.
Those movies haven't come out yet. We all know that Fast and the Furious first is coming out next year, and then the other one you said probably 5 years from now. God damn it, John. We get a big name guess in here, and then you go just spitting out the mouth, fanboying your way out. Thank God he read the whole ad.
Yeah,
you know,
of course he did, because he recognizes. He came on. Yeah. He's a big boy. He's a big boy. He came on the Big Boys podcast, and he's helping to elevate us to that next level.
He did acknowledge that he was a big.
You're doggone right.
I mean, he put both sides of his hands to my cheeks. He looked at me directly in the eyes, and he said, "Look at this boy. Ain't he big?"
That man was fuel for the fire. His last name is Diesel. That's his nickname now, the Fuel, because he's named after a slow burning petroleum product.
Yeah. What do you think about him referring to his genitals as his diesel dong?
I'm not sure I put that together, but that's definitely something. I'm not going to tell the man no. I'm not going to be the one to do that. And then he bounces his pecs off my head and gives me a concussion. So
right, and I've never been one to fight alliteration. You know me.
No, actually, it's kind of impressive.
Yeah, it's like every lady that has ever ran away from me was like, "Hey, come back! Don't you want some of this Brian boner?" Turns out they never do.
That's the problem. But I don't think the alliteration is what drove them off.
No. Yeah, it was just like because I like that doesn't work. Then I go like, hey, what about some Johnny Johnson? And then they find out my name's not John, and they hit the
you
bricks.
misled me. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So I commend Mr. Diesel coming up with a great screen name and nickname for his dong that alliterates with his screen.
I think he did it on the fly too, which is pretty impressive.
He did, or he might have put like 3 drafts into that, but it's neither here nor there. Who knows? As long as the message was delivered, and God, he influenced me so much now. I feel like I'm falling into his voice just talking about him.
He influenced you so much. It's like you're gonna become him. It was like, yeah.
Oh my God! I Bloody Mary me. Say that 3 times. I'll look in the mirror.
And next thing we know, you're going to have tank tops. You'll have given yourself a haircut again. You'll be bald. Your voice will be like half a step deeper. You'll be constantly talking about family. Really? But not your actual family, other people, but they'll be family to you.
Oh, okay. So that's where I got misconstrued because I do talk about family. And my voice is getting drastically
Weirdly
deeper.
Enough, your actual family doesn't count. But it's got to be everyone else.
Wait, what about your Mias and your Brian Tews?
Well, I guess you can pick select family members. Some siblings here and there.
And your John Cena that you never talked about for how X number of years. Like Vin Diesel. To get back on this shit we're supposed to be talking about. This is why we just need to keep doing comedy. Like I enjoy us watching movies and reviewing them and stuff, but to get back to Vin Diesel is the master of putting elephants in a room or being in films that have giant elephants in the rooms and then never acknowledging them. You know what I mean? Like John Cena's his long lost brother that he's never spoken of in 9 other movies. And then also in their flashbacks, they're still fully grown men. They're not in high school or anything. They are out of school.
And bodybuilders.
And and his brother is his brother as a full grown man has grown 1.5 foot. No one says anything about it.
Man, that shows you how behind I am on these movies. I didn't even realize John Cena was in one. Oh,
he's in 2, dog. He's in. He's going to be in. He's in.
He's in 9 and 10 from when
he's actually. Yeah.
Jacob Toretto.
He is.
And they have to spell it with a K. They can't spell it normally. It's going to be different. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, he is actually probably the buff guy that he was always looking for to be putting in this movie because he's more agreeable with Vin. He doesn't lead with his I think what I love and what I think most of America loves about John Cena is that he is self-effacing. The man, especially if I know you said you haven't been keeping up with the movies, and I am kind of disappointed in myself that I have been. But his character does a complete 180 from the character he played in the first movie to the second one. Because obviously
that's character growth.
They're doing cool. It's but it's also what am I trying to say here? The formula, right? He's got to be introduced to a new potential villain that's going to become a good guy, right? And but John Cena just has such a better sense of humor about it.
A villain who will eventually become
Angie's. Yeah, but actually, again, the movies are ridiculous. I guess I do like him. Even liking something ironically is still liking it. But I will say this much: the last one, I thought was they injected a hell of a lot more humor into it, and I guess that's got some of the fans drawn. Yeah. And I'm all for it. That's the only reason I'm watching it is the bananasness of it. It's not I'm not looking at this and thinking man, this could be me one day. This could be no one ever.
Maybe they're finally
in this reality,
finally becoming more self-aware of all right, we've driven this about as far as we can. At this point, we kind of have to start making fun of ourselves if we want to keep these going.
Yeah, which is again, and Momoa does that great, but you look at Triple X here. I mean, it's it doesn't land today, but somehow I think parts of it landed in 2002. Of like, and he was way more self-effacing in this movie. I mean, by me saying way more, it is still way more, but it's still not much at all. But he does at least make one or two self-effacing jokes, or his character is at least like with the he's set up to where he's like, what a stupid thing to say. Like, you ain't got nothing on me. Like, you have 5 different camera angles of you stealing a car and
you literally
exploding it off
them
of a
like
bridge.
the exact evidence they needed of you committing a crime.
Yeah. Against a senator, no less. Like, and ignoring all the technical feats and the scheduling and the coordinating that would have to go on. Like, in order for that to actually have occurred in this reality, there would have to be a hell of a lot of planning. So Zander would have had to be a pretty intelligent guy for that to happen, not as displayed. But like, I feel like, if the guy who was able to set all that shit up would also be able to say, oh yeah, no, you got me. Okay, what like, or I know you, like, at least the dialogue would be like, all right, I know you got me against the wall, but I'm not approving of it, rather than arrogantly, just ignorantly, just watching the ball go right over your head.
We actually have quite a file on you.
Pal, I don't know if you remember the first dart we shot on you, but you were in a warehouse just filled with tapes of crimes that you committed.
You know how we catch serial killers and they literally have like pieces of their victims and just their house all full of crimes? Basically the same thing. Just you're not murdering anybody, but you're just, you've literally documented every one of your crimes.
We hope actually it will inspire further criminals to do such things of like not only just document their crimes, but narrate it while they're at it. give us an in-depth into your thoughts.
It's actually, Johnson's going to get a promotion off this. You've been on the wanted list for a while, and you just gave us a slam dunk case. So like, there's no way we can fail in court.
Exactly. What? Oh, Jesus, Vince. What?
He's storming the studio.
You ain't got nothing on me. Okay, Vin. All right. Jesus.
Mr. Diesel, are you back?
He came in. He had to say that one thing, and then he went right back up. Hostile guy, but God, you gotta love him.
He's passionate. I can appreciate that.
Yes.
Even for small fries like us, just little guys trying to make it out there. It really means the world for me for him to come in here. And I appreciate that he's not sugarcoating anything. He brought that passion. That fire.
Yeah. Lambasted the both of us. I mean, me particularly.
Yeah.
But I think he had a few choice words for you as well.
I don't think he was overly impressed with me, but, like sometimes that's what you need is that hard truth.
You know what it is? I think what it is that now that we're family, I think he feels like he's got to be a little hard on the family.
Maybe we take him to Olive Garden.
Exactly.
That'll seal the deal. We'll be bros. We'll be family.
Exactly. And then
we're there.
And then maybe we figure out a way to like get a therapist to go along with us so we can figure out, what happened with his family, why he thinks, he has to be so, just harsh with his words to his newfound family.
Why he just thinks that he only has to keep doing Fast and Furious movies.
What do you think the next one's going to be? Is it going to be Fast or going to be Furious? The F11.
So it'll probably be a Furious. It'll be like,
you're right.
like
I think the next one's going to be F11. I think I just called
it. Furious X1 for 11 doesn't sound right. They'll probably have something else like Furious. Yeah, Furious 11 or Furious. They might just ditch numbers altogether and be like Furious Rage or whatever, Furious Exhaust. There we go. So it's car themed.
Or now that the man is fully committed to, coming back in and just building as many franchises as America or the world will let him. The real question we should be asking ourselves is, what do you think the next XXX movie is going to be called? Because we already have XXX. Don't Google it. XXX State of the Union. Probably shouldn't Google that one either. XXX return of Zander Cage, the porn parody.
It's like, I think I watched the wrong movie.
Yeah. What's it? Like the next one's Triple X, a porn parody, or like a Seinfeld porn parody.
What'd be funny is
He's
one
gonna,
of these and just be like,
Vin
we're
Diesel's
gonna
doing
review,
Seinfeld.
We're going to review Triple X. I thought this was supposed to be like an action movie. I don't know. Maybe you could classify it as a romance. It definitely wasn't action. I think I watched the wrong movie. I'm not sure. I didn't see anybody in a car, like not even once.
Yeah. And like I heard it was going to be intense. I just didn't expect that much heavy breathing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, Matt Hoffman was still there saying word, but you know.
I knew he was a sweaty guy, but come on. Like,
yeah. And I didn't know, but I just think everyone intrinsically assumed that he comes saying family, and then that occurred. I guess, yeah, that's Triple X, a porn parody.
That might be, that might be a little strange, but then who knows these days on the internet?
Well, no, dude, no, because he's, you got to think like if there's like some kind of underground, shady shit happening in the porn industry, which I'm sure that's never happened before ever, right?
Yeah,
you're gonna want to get an undercover agent in there who can, as he did with this Triple X. Just get him with the Czechoslovakians in the porn, because that's all porn people are Czechoslovakians.
So doing it in Europe, and, I don't know. It might be real sketchy. Like, yeah.
Oh God. Just thinking about one thing in particular that I know we probably shouldn't talk about on here. There's a video that you showed me a while ago that I still think about every once in a while.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But he'll infiltrate the Czech porn industry. And I think what the twist is going to be is that in this scenario, James Bond will be the bad guy.
Dude, that would
James
be wild.
Bond will be the Czech golden eye of the Triple X universe.
That would be wild if you did a mashup like that and like Bond was the bad guy.
Yeah.
Because now you're like, I don't know who I want to win.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm just spouting shit out of my mouth, but as I said it, I was like, you know what? That would be an interesting dynamic to see, like someone like Daniel Craig playing opposites of Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
Like, cause
I can dig it.
One is the same continuous note. It's not a bad. Well, it used to be a better note. I think the piano was a little shaky or whatever. Now it's just kind of it's that note. We all recognize it. Used to be able to play another one or two, but then you got someone like Daniel Craig, who is just like the concert pianist of acting. Like I just wonder who's gonna fuck up whose things more. You know what I mean? Because I feel like Daniel, talking as a smug bastard who books no acting work. The best acting is reacting, right? And Vin's not doing much reacting, so he wouldn't be giving much for Daniel Craigie to work off of. And then also, he's fucking James Bond, so that would also have to torture Vin's ego of that Triple X Zander Cage. Though the movie was a success, that should be something we should look into. Was this a box office success compared? Ooh, that's hard to tell because there's so many goddamn Triple X movies, but compared to the last 007 movie, which was
No Time to Die.
The World Is Not Enough, or Tomorrow.
Or do you mean the one?
No
or do you mean one
Die.
that came out around that time?
Yeah, I'm saying the one that came around that time. Which one do you
actually,
think?
I want to say it's The World Is Not Enough.
I bet
that came out around 2002. I want to say.
Yeah, that movie sucked too. So I'd be surprised if it actually came out. I bet you Triple X actually made more money.
Oh, Triple X definitely made money. Yeah.
No, I know it made money, but like I know it was successful. But I'm just curious if it achieved its goal of being the more successful version.
Well, according to the Wikipedia numbers, and I've got it up now, no, it didn't.
Comparably to The World
The
Is
World
Not
Is
Enough?
Not Enough. I'm sorry, The World Is Not Enough is 99. I think 02 is Die Another Day. I'm getting this mixed up. Yep. Die Another Day was 02.
Okay,
that was the last Pierce Brosnan movie. And even more so, no, it did
with
not.
Halle Berry, yeah.
That one made even more money.
It did?
Yeah.
Really? Because I just remember that one being like... a good chunk of that movie was just like comically bad.
I don't know.
And that was like, it's just like the Pierce Brosnan era of 007. Yeah, it was, I guess, honestly, all of them before Daniel Craig weren't quite as gritty and grounded in realism.
Yeah, they changed a little bit. Now, GoldenEye is universally beloved. Now, maybe that's just because the tie-in video game was so popular, but GoldenEye did very well.
Yeah.
Well, financially, they all did well, but it's like spoken of positively. The others are kind of hit or miss. Tomorrow Never Dies, World Is Not Enough, and then Die Another Day. But I still loved Pierce Brosnan as Bond. I thought he was an excellent Bond, regardless of your critique of the movie as a whole.
No, I don't think. Yeah, like as much as we shit on Hollywood, like I'll give them credit. Like I don't think they've ever casted a bad Bond. Even when the guy who was his replacement for a while, who everyone says he was the worst. I don't think so.
Talking about Timothy Dalton, the guy that only did like 2 movies.
Yeah. Because Pierce Brosnan couldn't get out of his TV show contract. Like I still think he did just fine, man. I just think, I just think this, it's the way that they were written. Like just very, I guess they were staying true to the nature of the '60s and stuff. Like where it was more tongue in cheek. Like it just worked better for me in the '60s with like the outfits and the music. But to like continuously do that when it was like, the late '90s, early 2000s, just like, okay, well, like the beehive hairdos aren't here, and there's not a guy.
Bond definitely went
dressed
very
in
hand
gold.
in hand with the whole spy craze of the '60s, and that whole like you said, the beehive hairdo. That's all like synonymous with that kind of a look. I guess I'm trying to think of the word, but like that styling, they were very hand in hand.
Well, that was of an era. That was the '60s. So my thing is like, and it goes for this movie too. I was just like, if you're gonna do, if you're gonna do an homage to something like that, go all the way. You know what I mean? Because that's where it was just like, what is this? Like, this is just like, it's like having melted gelato and still saying like, well, it's almost like ice cream. Like, get fucking ice cream, man.
Well, in the words of Ron Swanson on Parks and Rec, it's like, dear frozen yogurt, you are the celery of desserts. Be ice cream or be nothing.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Kind of to lend to your point, Yeah,
don't try to be new wave ice cream.
Don't reinvent the wheel.
Don't you try to reinvent desserts.
Exactly. We've already got one ice cream, and that's enough.
Exactly.
And that's ice cream. Everybody likes it.
Yeah. And with that being said, I still found this movie to be a real treat to go back and stroll down memory lane.
Oh, yeah. It definitely takes me back to a time and place. And I can appreciate that.
If nothing else, out of the whole hour and a half movie, there were other moments too, but like I laughed. I literally laughed out loud, chuckled my head off. That fucking Matt Hoffman line of it was just like his face said. He said one word, but his face said 10,000. Like, oh, go now. Like, and he's just like, he's almost like shooting it at him, like with his face. Word. Okay.
All right, that'll do, Mr. Hoffman.
Yeah. Thanks for asking about the trick, Matt. Just enjoy the party. Jesus Christ.
Goodness. Thanks for appearing in our movie.
I just drove a Corvette off a bridge, and this guy has me more on edge than that shit.
Yeah.
Why is he so uncomfortable?
Maybe they should have done a starring role with Matt Hoffman. That would have been pretty sweet.
That would have been interesting. Again, much to as you'd like to use this podcast as a metaphor to see how he would have grown, because that level of uncomfortability is like, again, Maddie, I'm just teasing you because I recognize it within this is a green person who is, in this situation for a first time and is hoping he doesn't screw it up. That will, if he's especially the lead in a movie, which, goddamn, what a gamble that would be, even in that day and time.
Yeah.
Eventually those nerves will have to, fall away and it becomes a job. So then we would actually really be able to see whether or not Matt Hoffman would be able to act,
That's the test. I think that's what we got to call for.
Yeah. Well, and we got a popular friend of the industry now.
He can help us out.
I'll try to find him when he's in a good mood. I'll see if he can get us some Matt Hoffman.
He can add fuel to the fire. Diesel fuel.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe we can get him in that aforementioned movie idea, cop drama we had of Michael Madsen and Beau Bridges. Maybe Matt Hoffman, because he has, in this scenario, he has to be the lead, right?
Yeah.
He can't just be a guy who comes and hands papers over or whatever. So Matt Hoffman is he kind of looks like him. He could be a Max Payne character.
It should be, but part of me is thinking it should have nothing to do with BMX biking. Just completely leave that out. Yeah.
Yeah. And to even throw shade on old Mark Wahlberg, who fucking just did nothing with that role. He just was Mark Wahlberg. When, dude, did you eat, I know that you're, at that time, you're pushing 40 or whatever, and you're not into video games, but research the fucking character. He has such an iconic voice.
Oh, yeah. And he's just doing him as...
And he was just... Yeah. Yeah. Hey, they killed my family.
I'm going to take them out too.
I'm Max Payne. I have one of the most dynamic, versatile voices ever heard.
Dude, yeah, the voice actor for that was pretty, he nailed it.
Yeah, R.I.P. to that man as well. He died last year.
Yeah, R.I.P., man.
I love his work too. Yeah. Yeah, what is his name, man? I mean, I got to look that up because, damn it, I will not desecrate his memory here by not... So, Max Payne voice actor. Did you ever play Max Payne 3?
I witnessed my brother play a lot of it. Excellent game.
All right, that sounds like something you should definitely get into at therapy. Yeah, fantastic game. That could be made into a movie. And if you are, again, R.I.P. if he was still alive, he would have fucking killed it. He does a cameo in Max Payne the movie. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
He comes in and gives
James McCaffrey.
Mark Wahlberg. James McCaffrey, yes. He's in all the Remedy games.
I've definitely heard that name.
Yeah. Well, he does other stuff too.
Yeah, he's got a long list of credits here.
Yeah. Yeah. Love his work though, man. Loved everything he's done. He's I just don't understand, and it's not the dude's handsome and fit as all hell too, you know what I mean? Like a versatile fucking, force to be reckoned with talent. And not to, shit on our new family member, just kind of feel why are these these types of roles going to in cinema anyways, with the big blockbusters? Why are they going to Vin Diesel and fucking Mark Wahlberg when you got a fucking James McCaffrey here ready to bring down the fucking house, and he looks like a fucking action star, and he sounds 10 times better than any of them could ever fucking hope to sound? What the fuck?
That's a good point, because he's already doing it for the game, And now, granted, the movie came out before Max Payne 3, but he also did motion capture for Max Payne 3. So, like, why not just have him in the movie?
That's my point. Yeah, that's why I'm saying that was my favorite one too, because he did all of it. Like I know that Sam Lake did the motion. He's also Sam Lake's the head of Remedy Games. He does did the motion capture for Max Payne 1 and 2 because obviously they were on a tiny budget, and I don't even think really any of the actors in video games were doing motion capture until like late,
I think that was probably too difficult and too expensive for most of them at the time. Now it's become more common. I think computing technology has gotten more to where they can do it in a game, because the technology has been around crudely for quite some time. They did it with Robert Patrick for Terminator 2, but that movie obviously had a much bigger budget than a lot of these games probably do.
Yeah. I just
don't think it was practical for a long time, and it finally got to the point where it was more practical. The technology was there, it was more readily available,
Yeah. I just want to weaponize my complaining about the industry. I feel better when I do it about other people than myself, but like, the fuck is wrong with you, Hollywood? James McCaffrey was the fucking man and way underutilized. But if there's ever an example of them, not recognizing talent, that's it right there. I mean, the guy looked like a fucking Greek, Adonis. Had the voice of a fucking Greek god. He may be Greek, I don't know. But the guy had it all. And I mean, again, I'm giving shit to the industry, but he also still did make a living as an actor. So I guess it wasn't totally ignored.
Yeah, he was also in the game Alan Wake.
But he should have been doing more. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he voices that too. And then, he they basically, if you play the Alan Wake games, they basically do a big wink to
Max Payne.
The Max fan base, because they have, once again, like they have Sam Lake doing the mocap for a character named Alex Casey, but he is dressed looks exactly like Max Payne, and then James McCaffrey does the voice. So it's like, oh, fucking Max Payne again. But unfortunately now, unless they get like a guy who can sound exactly like him, I doubt Alex Casey or Max Payne will be coming back in that regard. They are remaking Max Payne 1 and 2, though, in association with Rockstar.
Are they doing a remake? Like a full remake? Or is this just like a...
Well, they're
like, is it an HD... Is it like an HD remaster? Or...
Well, it's in association with Rockstar, which it better not be like the remastered hot garbage they did with the fucking, Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, and fucking San Andreas, because that was dog shit. But Remedy, they remastered Alan Wake. That looked pretty good. Like, if they do it like Naughty Dog does their remasters, Naughty Dog basically just puts out a fucking... I mean, it's the same exact game, but just for, it has the specs of, whatever they're using.
Yeah.
But, anyways, man, we're getting way off topic here, and I think we are past the hour now. Is there anything...
Oh, yeah, we're well
past
it.
Is there anything else you wanted to add about our dear friend Vin Diesel and this exceptional Triple X movie that... I was going to say, it's too bad we didn't watch this Triple X film together, as we do with all of the Triple X movies.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Diesel, thank you for coming on to our show, adding fuel to the fire, and giving us some real horsepower, adding some real torque to our content. We appreciate that.
You know what would have been a great bit, now I'm just thinking about before we close out? If Paul Rubens, the guy who played Pee Wee Herman, was like photographed at the premiere and just looking confused.
Yeah.
Anyways, with that, anything else you want to add?
No, that's
All
it.
right.
It's nice to finally be part of the 2000s culture and having seen Triple X,
Yeah. Welcome.
the
Well,
action movie to clear it up.
welcome to the culture, Johnny. All right.
Thank you.
This has been-
It's good to be here.
Yep. It's the place to be here on our podcast. Yes, sirree.
Join us.
As we leave. Bye-bye. How about that for another episode, dear listener? How about that for a Triple X finale? I mean that in as family-friendly as we get kind of way. Just making a pun out of the movie we were talking about earlier in the episode. I'm not a pervert. Yes. 3 seasons, can you believe it, dear listener? 35 episodes. And I think we finally got one that actually has some quality audio and video production to it. It's been a headache and a half getting that to work without rifling through 10,000 other technical difficulties, but such is the price of doing business online and for pleasure. Because if it was a business, it makes no money, so you might as well do it for pleasure and quit complaining about it the entire time. Because one would think, if you complain so much about it, you must not like doing it. Except here you are, week after week, complaining about having to do the things that you like. Wah is me, oh no. I live in LA and I get to try to make my dreams come true. I've only waited a lifetime to do that. Woe is me. Ugh. I get it. I think I sound like that. And it's preposterous. Sometimes. Sometimes I need to do it because, I'm dealing with other things that are preposterous. But that doesn't mean that I have to become full-blown preposterous myself. In our break, I think I'll be working on the posterity. In the meantime, also making some short form clips for us. Maybe doing some writing in advance, so I'm not frantically trying to write a quality sketch and advertisement for our new Patreon at patreon.com bigboyspodspot. Feel free to subscribe if you like, no pressure. As I said, still gonna keep doing this. It's that's all I know how to do. Is exactly what I want. Complain the entire time. Fuck, I'm fun to be around. And in closing, as always, I'd like to say, Como se llama hermana? Lo siento, Palapento. Good night, all my North Texans, and sweet dreams, all my fellow Angelinos. And to everyone else in between, you know what I mean. Have a good day, a good night. Sleep tight. Don't let bedbugs bite. Bite them back. Teach them a lesson. Make them get their own bed. Stand your ground. For this has been another episode of the Big Boys Podcast.
Big Boys is a podcast produced by Not So Funny or Proud Productions. The team consists of co-hosts, co-producers, and co-editors Brian Hickey and John Sorrells, better known as John the Great. For more information about the duo or this show, please visit us at bigboyspodspot.com, or feel free to take a gander at our production page, notsofunnyorproud.com. Look us up on social media and follow us at Big Boys Pod Spot. New episodes drop every Thursday on every popular podcast hosting platform known to man. So please be sure to like, subscribe, vibe, describe, contrive, confide, collide, abide, preside, tell your tribe, and most importantly, do prescribe. Me and Elixir for talking out the side of my neck.